There comes a moment in life when the illusion shatters. Not gently, not politely. It cracks open like glass under pressure. You wake up one day and realize the script you've been following, the safe choices, the approved opinions, the carefully curated identity, doesn't feel like yours anymore. You did everything right. You followed the path. You sought validation. You chased security. And yet, beneath the surface, there's a quiet, unsettling emptiness whispering, "This isn't it." That whisper grows louder when you are alone. It surfaces in the silence after the applause fades. It stares back at you in the mirror. When you can't distract yourself with noise, you start to feel a tension between who you are and who you pretend to be. And that tension hurts. It feels like confusion, like anxiety, like you're losing your footing. But what if that discomfort isn't a breakdown? What if it's the beginning of your awakening? The Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung once said that there is no coming to consciousness without pain. And that's the truth. Most people spend their entire lives trying to avoid, because awakening is not a spa treatment. It is not comfortable. It is not socially rewarded. It is a psychological earthquake that forces you to confront the lies you've been living. Lies about your potential, your limitations, and the story you tell yourself about who you are. The crowd never feels this deeply. The crowd stays distracted. It scrolls, it blames, it numbs, it convinces itself that comfort is success and that safety is fulfillment. But you, if you're feeling this ache, are standing at the edge of something different. You are sensing that you were not built to blend in. And that realization is terrifying because it demands responsibility. The painful awakening begins when you accept that no one is coming to rescue you. Not your boss, not your friends, not the economy, not luck. The moment you realize that your stagnation is not a curse but a consequence, that's when the ground shifts beneath you. It's easier to blame circumstances. It's easier to say the system is rigged. But awakening strips away excuses. It forces you to see your own patterns, your procrastination, your fear of rejection, your addiction to approval. That realization burns. It attacks your ego. It dismantles the identity you've carefully constructed. And for a while, you may feel lost. Because when the false self begins to crack, you don't yet know who you are without it. That uncertainty is painful, but it is sacred. Think about the last time something truly changed you. It wasn't comfort that did it. It wasn't praise. It was loss, failure, rejection, embarrassment. A moment that shook you so deeply that you could no longer pretend. Pain has a way of cutting through illusion. It strips life down to its raw essentials. And in that rawness, you meet yourself, without filters, without performance, without applause. This is the dividing line between you and the crowd. Most people feel the tremor and run back to comfort. They silence the whisper with distractions. They return to the routine that feels familiar, even if it feels empty. But a rare few lean into the discomfort. They sit with it. They ask hard questions. They dare to confront the parts of themselves they have been avoiding, and in doing so, they begin to separate. Awakening is not about becoming better than others. It is about becoming honest with yourself. Honest about your untapped potential. Honest about your wasted time. Honest about the dreams you buried because they seemed impractical or risky. When you face those truths, something powerful happens. You stop waiting. You stop waiting for permission. You stop waiting for the right time. You stop waiting for external validation to confirm your worth. Instead, you feel a surge of internal authority rising within you. A realization that the discomfort you've been resisting is actually a signal a signal that you are outgrowing your current identity. Growth feels like loss before it feels like expansion. It feels like confusion before it feels like clarity. But on the other side of that confusion is power. The painful awakening is not here to destroy you. It is here to separate you, to pull you out of autopilot, to force you to choose consciously rather than drift unconsciously. It is the moment you decide that comfort will no longer dictate your future. It is the moment you accept that the emptiness you feel is not a void. It is space. Space for reinvention. Space for courage. Space for the person you are meant to become. And right now, you are standing at that threshold. There is a part of you that you have been avoiding all your life. A part so raw, so unpolished, so undeniably real that admitting it feels dangerous. It's the part of yourself that whispers truths you refuse to face, the urges you deny, the insecurities you bury. Carl Jung called it the shadow, the hidden force inside you that controls far more of your life than you realize. And until you confront it, until you name it and own it, it will continue to run your thoughts, your actions, your destiny, all while you imagine you're in control. The shadow doesn't reveal itself in calm moments. It surfaces in moments of friction, of frustration, of envy. It speaks through the people who trigger you. When someone's arrogance annoys you, it is often a reflection of your own fear of inadequacy. When someone's success stings like salt in a wound, it's because you have denied your own ambition. The world becomes a mirror of what you refuse to admit about yourself. And every judgment, every irritation, every spark of resentment is a message from your shadow, daring you to look inward. Most people turn away. They point fingers. They say, "It's them, not me." They suppress the discomfort with distractions, social approval, or temporary pleasure. But here is the truth that separates the awake from the asleep. Whatever you refuse to face will manifest outside of you until you confront it inside. Every failure, every heartbreak, every cycle of repeated mistakes is your shadow whispering. You can no longer hide. Facing your shadow is terrifying. It means admitting you are flawed, that you are capable of selfishness, anger, fear, and weakness. It means accepting that some of your desires are uncomfortable, even shameful, yet they are yours nonetheless. And yet, the shadow is not your enemy. It is the engine of your evolution. It is the part of you that holds the power you have been too scared to claim. Integration, not suppression, transforms it from a source of sabotage into a source of mastery. Ask yourself this: how many of your frustrations are actually disguised longing? How many of your anger bursts are calling you to courage? How many of your envies are signaling untapped potential? Every time you feel irritation towards someone else, pause and ask, what am I resisting in myself? That question, simple as it seems, is a key that unlocks personal freedom. When you confront what you have denied, you stop projecting, you stop sabotaging, you stop running from yourself. The process is painful. There is no shortcut. Confrontation with your shadow cuts through layers of ego, societal conditioning, and comfort-driven self-deception. It exposes patterns of thought and behavior you didn't even know were shaping your life. And it is brutal because it forces accountability. You can no longer claim victimhood or externalize responsibility. Every choice, everything, every reaction becomes yours to own. This is terrifying, but it is also liberating. Here is the paradox: the very traits you fear, the impulses you resist, the truths you hide, they are the seeds of your strength. Anger, when acknowledged, can fuel unstoppable drive. Vulnerability, when embraced, can forge unbreakable connection. Fear, when faced, can sharpen courage into a weapon. You do not have to become perfect, but you must become whole, and wholeness requires welcoming every fragment of yourself, even the ones you once swore you would never admit existed. Practical steps matter. Take the time to reflect, to journal, to notice your reactions and triggers. List 3 qualities in others that ignite your irritation or judgment. Then ask yourself, without excuse or defensiveness, where do these traits exist in me? This is not a game of shame. It is a game of awareness, mastery, and liberation. Each insight is a brick in the foundation of your inner authority, each admission a spark that ignites courage. When you integrate your shadow, you stop being led by unconscious forces. You reclaim energy wasted on resentment, envy, and avoidance. You develop a clarity that allows you to make decisions from power rather than fear, from authenticity rather than imitation. Suddenly, the world shifts. Challenges are no longer obstacles, they are mirrors for growth. Conflict no longer drains you, it sharpens you. Criticism no longer wounds, it teaches you. Most people never do this work. Most will live their entire lives reacting, complaining, blaming, and numbing themselves, unaware of the power they carry. But you, standing here feeling the pull of your shadow, have a choice. You can retreat into excuses and illusions, or you can lean in. You can meet yourself with courage, honesty, and unflinching resolve. And when you do, you will awaken in a way that separates you from the crowd. This is the real power of the painful awakening. It doesn't just expose weakness. It doesn't just expose. It doesn't just reveal fear. It doesn't just show the darkness. Doesn't just show the darkness. It illuminates the path to greatness. The shadow is no longer a prison. It becomes your launch pad. And once you take the step to confront it, there is no turning back. You will never settle for shallow comfort again. You will never settle for shallow comfort again. You will never follow blindly. You will never be afraid of your own potential. You are not merely surviving, you are evolving, and the shadow you once feared is the force that will propel you forward, elevate you above the crowd, and awaken the untapped power you were always meant to wield. Becoming truly yourself is not an accident. It is not the result of luck, timing, or the right opportunity. It is the product of courage, a relentless, unflinching, unapologetic courage to be different, to stand apart from the masses, to carve a life that aligns with the deepest truths of your own soul. Carl Jung called this process individuation, the journey of becoming who you are, not who society, your upbringing, or your fears told you to be. And make no mistake, this journey is lonely, it is challenging, it is uncomfortable, and it is glorious. The moment you choose to individuate, the familiar world suddenly feels alien. Friends who once cheered you on may feel distant. Environments that once offered comfort may now feel suffocating. The roles you played, the identity you leaned on, the mask that made life manageable, they all begin to crumble. You realize that living for external validation, for applause, for fitting in, was never truly living at all. And this revelation is both terrifying and electrifying, because it awakens a hunger inside you, a hunger for meaning, for authenticity, for a life that is undeniably your own. To individuate, you must embrace solitude. No. The empty, lonely kind that frightens you. but the deliberate, reflective solitude that cultivates clarity. It is in those quiet moments, when you step away from noise, distraction, and social expectation, that you hear your true voice. That voice tells you who you really are, what you truly value, what you are capable of. It challenges the comfortable lies you have been telling yourself. It whispers truths that are uncomfortable but liberating. And every time you lean into that voice, you strengthen it. Every time you honor it, you are one step closer to mastery over yourself. The journey is not without resistance. Fear will rise. Doubt will creep in. Are you sure? Your mind will ask. Are you ready to lose what is familiar? The answer is always yes. Because familiarity is not fulfillment, safety is not growth, and comfort is the enemy of extraordinary. The crowd clings to what is safe. The awakened embrace what is real. To stand apart, to rise above, to individuate, you must learn to hold discomfort like a weapon, sharp, precise, and unwavering. This is where action becomes non-negotiable. Reflection alone is not enough. Decisions must be made, boundaries must be set, sacrifices must be embraced. You cannot individuate while pleasing everyone. You cannot evolve while catering to expectations that are not yours. You must say no to the distractions, the pressures, the voices that do not serve your path. And with every no, you create space for resounding yes. The yes that aligns with your purpose, your vision, your authentic self. Growth often feels like loneliness before it feels like power. The crowd will call you selfish, aloof, or arrogant. They will not understand the hunger that drives you, the fire that compels you to do the work others avoid. And that is good, because your evolution does not require permission. It requires commitment. It requires discipline. It requires the willingness to walk a path few dare to tread. It requires the courage to look into the mirror every day and say, I am not who I was yesterday. I am becoming who I am meant to be. Practical steps matter. Reduce noise. Limit social comparison. Journal relentlessly. Meditate or reflect daily. Identify what truly excites you, what lights a fire in your soul, and pursue it with relentless focus. Make decisions based on your long-term vision, not short-term comfort or approval. Every choice that aligns with your authentic self compounds into unstoppable momentum. Every action that defies conformity builds courage, muscles that cannot be taken away. Individuation is the refusal to settle. It is the declaration that you will not shrink to fit the expectations of the crowd. It is the commitment to live a life of integrity, authenticity, and audacious self-trust. And here is the truth. Few will tell you the discomfort you feel, the isolation, the loss of familiarity. These are not obstacles. They are confirmations. They are proof that you are breaking old molds. They are proof that you are stepping into your unique power. When you embrace individuation, the world does not simply change around you. It transforms within you. Your thoughts sharpen. Your decisions gain clarity. Your presence commands attention because you are no longer mimicking or performing. You are alive in a way the crowd cannot understand, because you are awake, you are aware, and you are moving with purpose. This path is not easy, but it is magnificent. It demands sacrifice, resilience, and unwavering self-honesty, yet it rewards you with freedom, confidence, and a life that is undeniably yours. To individuate is to declare to the world and to yourself that you will not be a shadow of another, that you will step into the fullness of your being, that you will rise not because the world lifts you, but because you choose to rise. You are capable of this. You are ready for this. The crowd may never understand, but that is irrelevant. Their approval is not your fuel. Your courage, your scion, your relentless commitment to authenticity. That is the power that separates you. Step into it. Own it. And watch as the person you were always meant to be emerges, unstoppable, unshakable, undeniably alive. Pain is never wasted. Every moment you feel broken, defeated, or lost is not a punishment. It is preparation. It is the universe stripping away the distractions, the illusions, and the excuses so that you can confront the raw truth of who you are and who you are capable of becoming. The crisis you fear, the heartbreak you dread, the failure that humbles you, they are not enemies. They are fuel. They are the forge in which your character, resilience, and greatness are forged. When life collapses around you, when circumstances betray you, when people disappoint you, it is easy to feel powerless. It is easy to ask, why me? Why now? And yet, the question that separates the awakened from the average is not, why me? It is, who am I becoming because of this? Every setback contains a seed of transformation, and the moment you recognize this, your pain becomes your power. You are no longer a victim of circumstance. You are an alchemist, converting adversity into momentum, suffering into strategy, and loss into leverage. Crisis exposes truth like nothing else. It exposes where you are hiding, where you are weak, where you have relied on comfort instead of courage. It exposes your illusions about control, your denial of responsibility, and your fear of failure. And when you face these truths head-on, when you stop running from them, something remarkable happens. Clarity emerges. You see exactly what needs to change. You see the patterns you must break. You see the life you must build. Pain is brutal, yes, but it is also brutally honest. It tells you exactly where your energy, focus, and action are required. Consider the failures you have endured. Every no that stung, every rejection that cut deep, every door that slammed shut. These were not punishments. They were signposts, pointing you toward refinement, redirection, and reinvention. Your mistakes are feedback. Your setbacks are lessons. Your lowest points are invitations to rise higher than you ever thought possible. The only thing standing between you and your transformation is the decision to treat crisis as fuel instead of fear. This is where mental reframing becomes your weapon. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this shaping me into? Instead of shrinking from discomfort, lean into it. Instead of running from rejection, use it to sharpen your resolve. Instead of fearing failure, let it illuminate the areas where you must grow, adapt, and innovate. Every painful moment is data, and your job is to extract insight, strategy, and power from it. Resilience is not built in comfort. Strength is not forged in ease. Power is not cultivated in safety. True transformation comes only when you are willing to face the fire. The more intense the pressure, the greater the potential. Like steel heated to white-hot temperatures, the more you endure, the stronger you become. And the remarkable truth is that crisis doesn't just test you. It teaches you. It forces you to discover the resources, talents, and courage you never knew you possessed. Here is what most people miss. The world will not wait for you to recover. Life does not pause until you are ready. Opportunities do not knock softly. They demand that you rise, that you act, that you step into the arena fully, with wounds visible, with fear acknowledged, and with courage acknowledged, and with courage acknowledged. This is why embracing crisis as fuel is not optional. It is essential. The awakened move through difficulty, while others crumble beneath it. They see the same challenges, but they extract opportunity, meaning, and power where others say, despair. Transformation is not passive. It is active, intentional, and relentless. When a crisis hits, you must engage it. Face it. Analyze it. Extract every lesson it carries. Make decisions that align with your higher self, not your comfort. Take bold strategic action, even when your mind screams retreat. Turn every obstacle into a stepping stone, every criticism into a compass, every failure into a roadmap. This is how ordinary pain becomes extraordinary growth. And here is the final, electrifying truth. The very thing that feels like it will break you is the thing that will elevate you above the crowd. Every heartbreak, every failure, every rejection, every crushing disappointment contains a kernel of power. It is shaping you, refining you, elevating you into someone unstoppable, unshakable, and undeniable. The fire is not punishment. It is initiation. The chaos is not enemy. It is mentor. The crisis is not the end. It is the beginning of your most potent, fearless, and authentic self. So stop fearing the struggle. Stop avoiding the discomfort. Stop running from the moments that shake you to your core. Lean into them. Learn from them. Let them sharpen your mind, steel your spirit, and ignite the relentless drive within you. Diamonds are formed under pressure. Steel is tempered in fire. And you, your greatest self, is being forged right now in the crucible of your own life. This is the moment that separates those who merely exist from those who awaken. Every fiber of your being has been tested, stretched, and challenged. Every painful awakening, every shadow confronted, every step into discomfort has led you here. And now, the choice is yours. Will you step fully into the light of your own potential, or will you retreat into the comfort of the crowd, where dreams fade and life is dictated by routine, distraction, and fear? Most people will choose remain asleep. They will scroll endlessly, complain about circumstances, blame others, and pretend that life owes them something. They will shrink in the face of difficulty, hide from responsibility, and allow fear to dictate their every move. They will cling to comfort, to familiarity, to the predictable, because it feels safe, and in doing so, they trade brilliance for mediocrity, courage for ease, and fulfillment for complacency. But not you, not if you are ready to awaken. Awakening is not accidental. It is not something that falls into your lap or arrives when life is convenient. Awakening is deliberate, relentless, and uncompromising. It is the conscious decision to face every truth, to embrace every discomfort, to own every part of yourself, and to pursue the life you were designed to lead. It is saying to yourself, I refuse to settle for less than my full potential. I refuse to follow blindly. I refuse to ignore the voice inside me that demands more, that demands authenticity, that demands greatness. The painful awakenings you have endured, the shadows you have faced, the crises you have transformed into fuel. All of it was preparation. Every challenge, every moment of doubt, every heartbreak was shaping you, refining you, and priming you for this precise moment. And now, hesitation is no longer an option. The life you desire, the purpose you seek, the greatness that is already within you. It cannot be accessed from the safety of sleep. You must act. You must choose. Look around you. The crowd will not understand. They will ridicule your choices, question your courage, and attempt to pull you back into mediocrity. They will offer comfort, distractions, and shallow approval. But their world is small. Their dreams are limited. Their lives are dictated by fear. You are awake. You see clearly. You feel deeply. You know that life is meant to be lived on your own terms, with authenticity, with audacity, with fire. And that awareness alone is enough to ignite unstoppable momentum. This is the call to action. Face one truth you have been avoiding. Step into one challenge you have been postponing. Speak one honest word you have been holding back. Take one bold action that aligns with the person you are becoming. These small steps are not trivial, they are seismic. Every decision you make in alignment with your higher self compounds into unstoppable momentum, reshaping your life, your mind, and your destiny. Understand this. The crowd will continue to chase comfort, to numb pain, to ignore their shadows, to avoid crisis. They will follow routines that offer safety, but not fulfillment. They will live lives dictated by the approval of others, never daring to confront their own potential, and that is their choice. But you have been awakened. You have glimpsed the truth. You have felt the fire. And now, there is no going back. You can never fully unsee what you have seen, unfeel what you have felt, or ignore the voice that calls you to greatness. The power of awakening is in action. Knowing without doing is meaningless. Seeing without stepping forward is wasted vision. Feeling the fire without walking through the flames is a missed opportunity. You must choose to step fully into the life that aligns with your purpose, even if it is uncomfortable, even if it is lonely, even if it defies every expectation others have placed upon you. Your courage, your clarity, your relentless pursuit of authenticity. These are the forces that will separate you from the crowd. This is the truth. The pain you resisted, the challenges you endured, the shadows you confronted, they were all preparing you for this very moment. The choice is simple, but profound. Awaken fully or retreat into sleep. Step boldly into your own power, into the life you were meant to create, and into the destiny that already resides within you. Every second you hesitate is a second spent conforming, shrinking, and denying yourself. Every step you take forward ignites momentum, builds confidence, and propels you toward greatness. So decide. Choose yourself. Choose courage. Choose authenticity. Choose to rise above fear, mediocrity, and the expectations of others. Step out of the shadows of hesitation and into the brilliance of your own life. The world may not understand. The crowd may resist, but that does not matter. What matters is that you have awakened, you have seen, and you have chosen. And once you choose, there is no limit to what you can become. This is your awakening. Step into it, or remain asleep. The choice is yours, but the time is now.